in Abuja, the State House at Asarok is hosting the Progressive Governors Forum and the Renewed Hope Ambassadors Summit 2026. The event brings together key political leaders and youth ambassadors to discuss governance, development, and strategies for national progress. Stay with us.
Essay to the President on Events and ED, North Central Development Commission, Princess Atiku. We also have, of course, other directors of various areas, the DG concerned with, the director concerned with media, who is special advisor to Mr. President, Mr. Sunday Dare, and the DG Progressive Governors Forum, Mr. Folorunsho Aluko, and the entire team of the Renewed Hope Infrastructure. They have spent sleepless nights under the leadership of the very distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma to ensure that this happens. We salute them. We thank our distinguished excellencies and acts who have shown up today and the host governors who are here. Your excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for me to invite the chairman of Africa's largest ruling party, the APC. Please help me welcome Professor Nentawe Goshwe Yilwata, who is making his way up to deliver his own address this morning. I do see the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. I do see the Chief of Staff to Mr. President. I welcome you both. It's always good to see you. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Virginia Abu. Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, distinguished Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, here represented by his able and always available Vice President, distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON. His Excellency, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, His Excellency, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, His Excellency, the Deputy Senate President, distinguished Senator Jibrin Barau, and His Excellency, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, His Excellency, the Chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, and also the Governor of Imo. And let me use the opportunity also to welcome all the progressive governors here present. Let me acknowledge the presence of all the National Working Committee members, and also acknowledge the presence of all the Federal Executive Council members here present, and all the leaders of the Renew Hope ambassadors across 36 states plus FCT here present. And ladies and gentlemen, my job here is very simple: to welcome you to this defining moment. So I'll start by saying, I want to welcome all of you to this defining gathering, a gathering that will define our vision, our conviction, and also our purpose as a political party. We are not here by accident. That one I'm so sure of. We arrived at this destination because we believe in Nigeria. We believe in the reform of Mr. President. We also believe in the mission of Mr. President and also the mission of the All Progressive Congress. That is why the future is not something that we await. Rather, it is something that we organize. And this is a starting point. And today begins the future of our party and our country. But having built infrastructures which are so defining, is it the Coastal Road or the Badagry Sokoto Road, with over 300 dams spread across the road for reticulation agriculture to boost food security in the country, or the red lines, or also the AKK project, which is the biggest and most expensive project ever in the country. But have they been heard loud and clear? Because we know that good governance without communication is invisible. And so also the many projects of the state governments and federal government, as good as they are, they're invisible. I've visited many states. I've seen beautiful projects, beautiful things being done, but they're invisible and not communicated. Communication without structure is a noise. That's why we have a structure today that we're building. And politics without grassroots mobilization is an organized defeat. And I know that today is the beginning of our victory. So we're here to ensure that governance translates to gratitude by the people that we've done the projects to. And gratitude also translates to loyalty. And loyalty translates to our victory in 2027. Let me make it clear today that this summit will achieve two purposes. One, to strengthen governance and its communication under the Renew Hope agenda. Two, to lay the structural foundation for a decisive and historic victory in 2027. Therefore, the opposition always hope that our difficult reforms will weaken us. Rather, they've strengthened the party. They await the temporary discomfort to erase the long-term transformation of this country, and they whisper confusion where we speak in clarity. But as a party, we're a party full of courage, because the president has courage in abundance. And under him, we have chosen reform over rhetorics, and we have chosen restructuring over recycling of failure. And we've chosen also to build the economy and make reforms over cosmetic populism. This we've done as a party. But history does not reward hesitation, but rewards conviction. And I'm sure today was the beginning of our conviction as a party and as people to move this party forward. And in 2027, Nigerians will not vote noise. Rather, they will vote the results they will see on the streets and across the country. Therefore, the All Progressive Congress is not a coalition of convenience. It is a movement of purpose and a movement of progress by the progressive. That's why today we need to also know that this movement can only survive on discipline. One party means one, no contradictory narratives, no internal sabotage, and no freelance communication. Rather, when the president speaks, let the governors also re-echo it. And when the governors deliver, let the ambassadors also amplify it. And when the party decides, let the members also defend it. Because unity is not optional. Unity is our strategic power as a party. Therefore, while we reform, I know the opposition keep on complaining, but we saw it in the election over the weekend, that while they were complaining on social media, on TV, and even some declaring themselves, the results turn out in our favor. So what will build They broadcast despair. And while we structure, they speculate. And speculations never win elections. They offer criticism without alternatives. They strive on short-term populism. We as a party, we invest in long-term transformation. And I know, Mr. President, that's what it stands for. And in 2027, Nigerians will choose between noise and nation building, between their confusion and renew hope agenda. And I have no doubt that they will choose us, because what we've done across the country and the land that bred this country, nobody can pretend about it. And let us not pretend about it, that 2027 will be a referendum on transformation, a referendum of our courage as a party, a referendum on whether Nigeria continues to go forward or retreats backward. And if we communicate effectively, we mobilize strategically, and we remain united, victory will not be accidental, but it will be inevitable. Let me call on our party men and women, to the progressive governors. Let's lead with performance and communicate with precision. And to our party leaders, from the National Working Committee to the state, down to the world, this party is ours. And let's guide the unity of this party jealously. And to the Renew Hope ambassadors, carry the message to the last mile. And to every APC member, you are not just a supporter, you are the messenger of our national transformation. Let me conclude this way. Distinguished leaders, history has placed on us at this defining moment, and we cannot do otherwise. We can either manage our success casually, or we can organize it and make it more strategic. We can either assume victory at the comfort of our room, or we can engineer it deliberately. And that's what we're doing today. Therefore, let this summit mark the beginning of a disciplined, data-driven, grassroots-powered movement that secures not just governance, but generational dominance of our party in Nigeria. Let it be said that in 2026, at this strategic summit, the APC choose structured over sentiments, clarity over confusion, unity over division, and victory over any doubt. I know together we are unstoppable. Together our message will be unbreakable. And together united, we will mobilize in such a way that will be unbearable for any opposition to withstand. And in 2027, when Nigerians return to the ballot, they will not just vote for a party, they will vote for stability. They will vote for our courage. They will vote for the Renew Hope agenda of Mr. President. Lastly, the message is clear, the course is clear, and the unity of this party is not in doubt and can be seen by what we're doing right now in our congresses. I know we'll keep this party united. God bless the All Progressives Congress. God bless the progressive governors, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Chairman, for your very visionary and compelling address. Can we put our hands together one more time for the Chairman of the APC, Thank you very much, Professor. We appreciate you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today's gathering is more than a routine. It is a strategic convergence of political alignment and progressive action. It's about strengthening governance coordination, advancing youth-led government, supporting national reforms with precision and empathy, promoting sustainable economic growth, and enhancing security and community resilience. And one person who has done this very well in Imo State and who has coordinated his members in the forum is the man I'm about to bring on now. The president and other people that love him call him the goalkeeper, the defender, the midfielder, and the Osime of APC. He is the chairman of the All Progressive Governors Forum and the Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors. Please join us and welcome here the one himself, Senator Hope Uzodimma.
Your Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Right Honorable Speaker, Federal House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. The National Chairman of our great party, the largest party in Black and White Africa, Professor Natawe Iwada. The Deputy Speaker, Federal House of Representatives, the Deputy Senate President, Nigerian Senate, Distinguished Senator Jubrin Barau, and the Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Ben Carlo. Your Excellencies, my brother governors of the various progressive states in Nigeria, distinguished senators, members of the House of Representatives, honorable ministers, and members of the Federal Executive Council, the National Working Committee of our great party, leaders of our great party in attendance this afternoon, leaders and coordinators of Renewed Hope Ambassadors at the zonal and state levels, women leaders, youth leaders, distinguished invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is my profound honor to welcome you to this strategic summit. We are here to trigger a process that will reinvent our identity, unify our structures, and bring us into an indestructible, strong, and united family, driven by one unassailable vision and focus. Let me first express my deepest appreciation to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his confidence in the ability of the progressive governors to drive this process. I am personally grateful to you, sir, for also finding me worthy to head the Renewed Hope Ambassadors as an instrument for grassroots mobilization towards an all-round victory for our great party, the All Progressive Congress, in the coming elections in the 2027. Thank you, Mr. President. I also appreciate His Excellency, the ever-supportive Vice President of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, his unflinching commitment to the success of the administration. To our energetic and highly cerebral national chairman, we are grateful for your continuous cooperation in synergizing with our governors for the progress of this administration and the growth of our great party. Let me also appreciate the presence of my brother governors who have given me their unqualified support since they chose me to be their chairman. I must say that I've enjoyed your cooperation immensely, and I do not take it for granted. I equally extend my warm welcome to the leadership and members of the National Assembly, the Federal Executive Council, and all dignitaries who are present here today. I must say that anyone privileged to be here has something tangible to contribute to this strategic summit. We are all here because of the value we can and should add to the renewed hope vision of our beloved president. Your presence is truly and immensely appreciated. We've gathered here today with a singular motive: to bridge the gap between the profound transformative work the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has done and is still doing for Nigeria, and the lived reality of millions of Nigerians who have not yet felt its full impact. We've not come for a rally or a celebration. This is a working session for those entrusted with the responsibility of translating policy into public awareness and reform into relief. Your Excellency, Mr. President, permit me to express on behalf of the Progressive Governors Forum and the Renewed Hope Ambassadors structure nationwide our profound appreciation for your presence and leadership. Your decision to host this summit here at the State House Conference Hall elevates this engagement from a political meeting to a national strategic convergence. It signals seriousness, it signals direction, it signals continuity between federal reform and subnational mobilization. This summit is historic, not because of who is seated in this hall, though the presence of leadership across all tiers of our party and government is remarkable, but because of what we are determined to institutionalize. Today we chose structure over improvisation. We chose discipline over fragmentation and philosophy over expediency. Above all, we chose Nigeria's long-term stability over short-term applause. Nigeria at a defining democratic moment. Nigeria is at a defining democratic phase. Across the globe, democratic systems are being tested by economic shocks, digital misinformation, geopolitical uncertainty, and rising citizen expectations. Nigeria is not insulated from these pressures. The Nigerian situation is more layered. Mr. President is simultaneously reforming our macroeconomic architecture, reforming our physical systems, rebuilding public infrastructure, strengthening our security apparatus, expanding digital inclusion, and managing democratic competition. In such a season, clarity becomes national security. Citizens today are more informed, but not always more accurately informed. Social media amplifies speed, but not necessarily context. Reform by its context and nature creates discomfort before it creates stability. The central democratic challenge before us is this: how do we ensure that the structural reform being undertaken by our government is understood, defended, internalized, and translated into citizens' trust at the grassroots? Because policy success without citizen understanding creates perception gaps, and perception gaps weaken democratic legitimacy. That is why we are here. Your Excellency, Mr. President, history often judges leaders more kindly than their contemporaries do. The decisions that secure long-term national stability are rarely the ones that generate immediate applause. When Mr. President assumed office on May 29, 2023, he inherited an economy that is in distress. We all know this. Even our opponents know this. The signs were everywhere: depleted foreign reserves, runaway inflation, crippled oil production, and a subsidy regime that was bleeding the treasury dry while enriching few. Previous administrations had postponed the day of reckoning until it could no longer be postponed, else the nation would have collapsed. Mr. President did what needed to be done. Mr. President front-loaded the reforms in the nation's interest. And for us in the ruling party, the benefits of these reforms have thankfully kicked in just as we approach the end of the political cycle. Some might say this was too great a risk, but it has paid off, and the enemies of Nigeria are not happy. It is therefore not only our partisan duty, but our patriotic obligation to propagate these results to every man, woman, and youth until every Nigerian, including our opponents, acknowledges the good work of our great party and that of our beloved president. I am happy that we have even more zeal than those on the other side. That is what it should be. And we must not extinguish the flame. Fortunately, the facts are on our side. We just need a bit of storytelling to get our message across in the midst of all the malicious noise. Mr. President, distinguished leaders, facts are stubborn. In May 2023, our foreign reserve stood at $32 billion in gross terms. But as of February 5th, 2026, they stand at $49 billion, an 8-year high, representing a 53% increase. When Mr. President assumed office, the net usable reserves were approximately $3 billion. Today, they stand firmly in the high 30s. The foreign exchange premium, which once hovered above 30%, is now under 2%. Some people dismiss these wins when they happen under this administration. But the same people celebrate similar or weaker results in other developing economies. However, we must rouse consciousness, and we must do so clearly, patiently, but boldly. In May 2023, headline inflation was 22.4% and rising. Food inflation was 24.6% and accelerating. By December 2025, after thorough review, headline inflation had declined to 15.15%. Food inflation, which peaked at nearly 40%, now stands at 10.84% and is poised to drop even further. Take a trip to the market and see for yourself. From rice to garri, to beans, yams, potatoes, pepper, and tomatoes, prices keep falling. These are real outcomes, not projections. And it is only us seated here that will tell the story. In May 2023, Nigeria was producing roughly 1 million barrels of crude oil per day. Today, our output averages 1.5 million barrels per day, with recent peaks reaching 1.6 million when condensate are included. Our OPEC quota remains 1.5 million barrels per day. While we have not yet consistently met it, we have moved from chronic underproduction to the threshold of compliance. Again, in May 2023, Nigeria imported virtually every drop of refined petrol at a cost of approximately $20 billion annually. All our 4 refineries were shut down. Today, the Dangote refinery, with a capacity of 650,000 barrels a day, is operational. And the sector now has the confidence of investors, with several other large refineries under construction and rehabilitation. Our import dependency has been drastically reduced. This is energy security. We can all attest to the recent gains of the Naira, and analysts have predicted that Naira will rise to under 1,000 Naira to a US dollar before the end of the year. This is the power of Mr. President's reform. Courage and vision have paid off. In May 2023, the national minimum wage was 30,000 Naira. Today, it is 70,000 Naira. I want to use this opportunity to thank the leadership of Nigerian Labour Congress for gracing this occasion and for their support to this administration since 2023. In May 2023, power generation averaged 4,200 megawatts. By March 2025, we recorded a peak of 5,801 megawatts, and we now sustain an average between 5,300 and 5,700 megawatts. In 2023, the Federal Account Allocation Committee distributed 10.14 trillion Naira to all tiers of government. This year, the projected allocation is approximately 41 trillion Naira. That is a 4-fold increase in resources available to federal government, to state government, and to local governments. Before this administration, states were not permitted to regulate their own electricity markets. Today, several states, including my own state, Imo, have taken advantage of the Electricity Act to build their own power infrastructure. This is the federalism we have always talked about. This administration has made it real. Diaspora remittances, which hovered around $200 million per month in 2023, now average $600 million per month. That is a 200% increase. But perhaps the most far-reaching reform is the tax revolution. In June 2025, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed 4 tax reform acts into law, consolidating over 60 disparate taxes into fewer than 10 clear statutes. These reforms took effect on January 1st, 2026, and they represent the most comprehensive fiscal overhaul Nigeria has seen since 1999. What does this mean for an ordinary Nigerian? Every worker earning 800,000 or less annually now pays 0 income tax. If you earn 70,000 minimum wage, you keep every kobo, no taxation. Small businesses with turnover below 50 million naira are exempt from company income tax, capital tax, gain tax, and the development levy. Companies that hire new workers receive a 50% tax deduction on those salaries for 3 years. Companies that raise wages for their lowest paid employees receive also a further 50% deduction. This administration is using the tax code to reward job creation, not penalize it. Agricultural enterprises enjoy a 5-year corporate tax holiday from the commencement of operations. VAT remains at 7.5%, one of the lowest rates in Africa, with a basic food, education, healthcare, and transport zero rated to protect the poorest households. For the first time, Nigeria has a unified, modern, digitally administered tax system that protects the vulnerable, incentivizes enterprise, and aligns with global standards. And then there is NEFund. Before this administration, Nigeria had no functional student loan scheme. As of February 2026, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund has disbursed approximately 184 billion naira in interest-free loans to nearly 1 million students across 265 public tertiary institutions. Over 1.5 million students have applied. This is social investment at scale, and it did not exist 30 months ago. Your Excellencies, Mr. President have chosen sustainability over sentiment. Beyond microeconomics, his administration has accelerated infrastructural delivery. Major highway corridors are under construction and rehabilitation across all the 6 geopolitical zones. Rail modernization projects are also being consolidated. Power sector reform efforts are being intensified equally. Port process digitization has improved trade facilitation timelines. On social protection, targeted cash transfer systems have been restructured to improve reach and transparency. In security, investment in intelligence coordination and multi-agency collaboration continues to strengthen national response capability. These are reforms, not cosmetic. They are foundational. They require courage, and courage in governance is the rarest currency in democracy. Why this summit is necessary? Distinguished leaders, these are facts. These are the outcomes. Yet, these gains, a gap persists. There is a disconnect between the macro-level outcomes I've just outlined and the grassroots reality that millions of Nigerians express daily. Cynicism remains because the communication of reform outcomes has not matched the pace of the reforms themselves. The opposition has exploited this gap with relentless propaganda. The problem is not policy failure. The problem is communication failure, and that failure is on us. We have identified 4 critical gaps. Number 1 gap, communication fragmentation. different voices, different emphasis, sometimes different interpretations across states and platforms. In a digital age, fragmentation is magnified. Number two, weak institutionalized grassroots templates. Mobilization in some places has been personality-driven rather than system-driven. We need replicable models, ward engagements, listening sessions, and sector dialogues. Inconsistent membership growth. Inconsistent membership expansion strategy. Our membership growth must be measurable and intentional, not assumed. A modern political party must know its strength in terms of numbers, demographics, and its growth trajectory. Number four, role ambiguity between party structure and mobilization platforms. Where roles are unclear, duplication emerges. Where duplication emerges, discipline weakens. This summit exists to close these gaps through architecture, not rhetorics. What must happen today? This gathering must produce outcomes, clear outcomes, not impressions. At the end of today, 5 negotiable expectations must be met. Number one, ideological consolidation. Every state must reaffirm the APC manifesto as the guiding compass of governance and mobilization. We must be clear about what we believe. A party that loses ideological clarity becomes vulnerable to internal contradictions. Number two, the adoption of a unified messaging guide. There must be standardized core talking points, reform explanations, data references, and response lines to misinformation. This does not eliminate state uniqueness. It ensures coherence. Number three, institutionalization of grassroots engagement templates. Every state must adopt structured formats for ward, town halls, community listening sessions, youth policy dialogues, women empowerment engagements, and sector-specific stakeholder briefings. Mobilization must move from ad hoc enthusiasm to predictable programmings. Number four, an accelerated membership drive. We must move from aspiration to targets. Each state should define membership growth benchmarks, track youth recruitment numbers, track women participation ratios, and establish quarterly growth reporting. Modern politics is data-driven. Political rallies alone does not guarantee electoral victories. Number five, adoption of a monitoring and reporting cadence. If we do not measure, we do not improve. If we do not track, we do not correct. This summit must produce a structured implementation calendar, the 3-pillar architecture. This is precisely why we are here. The Renewed Hope ambassadors exist to bridge the gap. We are the grassroots interface between government performance and citizen awareness. We are the ones who must take these numbers, these outcomes, these reforms, and translate them into stories that resonate in every ward, in every market, and every town hall. But you cannot do this alone. During the breakout sessions, you will be given a work plan and a modus operandi proposing a unified communication architecture built on 3 pillars, operating as one family. Pillar 1, the Renewed Hope ambassadors at the zonal, state and local government, ward and polling unit levels. Pillar 2, government information machinery, led by the Federal Ministry of Information, State Commissioners of Information, and supported by media units in every ministry at the state level. Pillar 3, party structure, led by APC state chairmen, secretaries, women and youth leaders, ward and polling unit executives. To this end, the Progressive Governors Forum, working with the leadership of our great party, will develop a unified communication template to ensure synergy across all three pillars. This template will provide the data, the talking points, and the visual aids needed to make the case for renewed hope in every corner of Nigeria. Now, as we speak of unified messaging, I must address an encouraging development. The APC family, through the Renewed Hope ambassadors, acknowledges the remarkable enthusiasm among many Nigerians in support of Mr. President's re-election bid. This enthusiasm has led to the spontaneous formation of many and diverse support groups across the nation. This groundswell of organic support is both encouraging and energizing. It demonstrates that Nigerians recognize and appreciate the transformative work of this administration. However, in achieving unity of messaging, it is essential that the Secretariat screens and approves these groups to ensure that message harmony is achieved and maintained. We must avoid a situation where different structures are singing from different hymn sheets and potentially contradicting one another. Coordination does not stifle enthusiasm. It amplifies effectiveness. Therefore, all support groups must align with the three-pillar architecture I have just outlined. Clear assignment for every structure. Institutional clarity prevents conflict. Each pillar has a distinct responsibility, and they must be clear about roles. The APC leadership must protect ideological coherence, maintain discipline of message, provide strategic mobilization direction, and ensure internal alignment across organs. Without ideological discipline, electoral strength becomes fragile. We, as progressive governors, must deliver measurable governance outcomes, align state policies with the national reform direction, support mobilization logistics, and ensure that commissioners and communication teams operate within unified messaging frameworks. Governance must reinforce party philosophy. State party executives, chairmen, secretaries, women leaders, youth leaders, you are the custodians of structure. You must own membership expansion, institutionalize world-level activity, avoid the parallel power centers, and collaborate, not compete, with mobilization platforms. The Renewed Hope ambassadors are amplifiers. They are not alternatives. They exist to energize citizen engagement, not to bureaucratize political work. Their mandate is engagement, amplification, storytelling, and community activation, always in alignment with party structures. Commissioners for information at the state level, you are the custodians of narrative discipline. Your responsibilities include ensuring factual accuracy, coordinating state messaging with national reform direction, rapid response to misinformation, and translating policy into relatable language. In today's Nigeria, information management is governance management. The operational mechanics. Here is how this will work operationally. State information commissioners will work directly with Renewed Hope ambassadors at the state and local government levels. There will be regular world-level briefings involving party officials and Renewed Hope coordinators. The information flow will be two ways. Grassroots feedback must reach the center so that we know what is working and what is not, state by state according to peculiarities. Social media deployment is non-negotiable. We will establish WhatsApp broadcast networks at the world level, local government level, and state levels. We will produce short-term video contents in local languages using the then versus now format to show the contracts graphically. We will run coordinated weekly social media campaigns. We will provide digital skills training for world-level officials, and we will establish a rapid response unit at the headquarters to counter misinformation in real time, timelines and accountabilities. Intentions do not build institutions. Timelines do. If this summit is to rise above symbolism, then our commitments must be time-bound, measurable, and reviewable. Within 14 days from today, we will circulate the unified messaging guide to all the states, disseminate the summit communique, and activate a central coordination desk within the Secretariat. Within 30 days from today, state-level alignment meetings will be convened by each state. Integration sessions between party executives, commissioners for information, and Renewed Hope ambassadors coordinators will take place, and state mobilization dashboards will be established. Within 60 days from today, we will roll out world-level engagement templates across states, launch harmonized membership drive campaigns with measurable targets, and activate digital engagement systems for youth and women mobilization. Quarterly thereafter, there will be structured reporting to the Secretariat, performance review of mobilization growth metrics, communication coherence assessment and adjustment, and recalibration where necessary. We must create redeem. Institutional redeem sustains momentum beyond headlines. Concrete deliverables. This summit will not end with applause alone. It will end with the instruments, the concrete deliverables as follows. First, a formal communique capturing unified commitments, role clarity, institutional direction, and strategic alignment. Second, a unified messaging guide containing core national reform explanations, state adaptation templates, talking points, the do's and don'ts, and a rapid response structure. Third, a grassroots mobilization framework, including ward engagement templates, listening session models, youth town hall formats, women mobilization structure, and feedback loop mechanisms. Fourth, membership drive. Activation brief detailing state-level targets, demographic focus, reporting frequency, and growth benchmarks. Fifth, an implementation coordination note specifying 30-day actions, 60-day milestones, quarterly review mechanisms, and secretariat oversight structure. I am confident that these targets are realistic and achievable. Youth and women. No nation survives the future without generational inclusion. Nigeria's demographic reality is clear. Over 60% of our population is under the age of 35. Women remain the most consistent voters and the most reliable community mobilizers. Yet, inclusion of women must go beyond attendance. It must become architecture. Under this summit framework, youth mobilization must integrate digital platforms, innovation hubs, policy debates, and entrepreneurship support. Women mobilization must integrate economic empowerment dialogues, leadership pipelines, and community advocacy roles. Data must track participation rates. Leadership development must be intentional. We must not merely invite young people and women to political meetings. We must design pathways for them within the party structure. If the renewed hope agenda is to be sustainable, it must be intergenerational. If mobilization is to be durable, it must be inclusive. Media architecture and narrative discipline. In a digitally In a digitally saturated age, silence creates distortion. We must therefore institutionalize a unified communication architecture. This includes a shared content pipeline across the states, standardized reform explainer briefs, coordinated media appearances, verified data repositories accessible to state communication teams, and rapid response units for misinformation management. Narrative discipline does not mean uniformity of tone. It means coherence of substance. When the federal government undertakes reform, states must echo clarity. When states deliver projects, the party must amplify results. When misinformation emerges, the response must be factual and immediate. Governance communication is no longer peripheral. It is central to democratic consolidation. The national interest above all. This summit is all about ambitions and institutional continuity. The Nigerian people deserves stability. They deserve reforms that works. They deserve a party that speaks with clarity. They deserve leadership that thinks beyond the next election cycle. As progressive governors, we recommit ourselves to strengthening national cohesion, supporting federal reforms, ably led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, deepening sub-national productivity, and institutionalizing message discipline. Reaffirmation of confidence in Mr. President. Mr. President, permit me to reaffirm the unwavering support of progressive governors for your reform direction. We understand that transformation requires patience. We understand that restructuring requires courage. We understand that stability requires discipline. Your administration has chosen long-term national interests over short-term applause. History will record that. We at the subnational level stand as partners, not spectators. We stand ready to align policy, mobilization, and communication with your national direction. In conclusion, when we leave this hall today, let it not be said that we merely attended the summit. Let it be said that we institutionalized a framework. Let it be said that we strengthened ideological clarity. Let it be said that we disciplined our mobilization. Let it be said that we chose structure over improvisation. From this moment forward, we operate as one party, one message, one mobilization framework, anchored on the APC manifesto, strengthened by renewed hope governance, activated at the grassroots, and measured in outcomes. The work begins now. From this hall, we go forth with clarity of purpose and unity of action. May our discipline secure our unity. May our unity secure our strength. May our strength secure Nigeria's stability. And may we record a resounding victory for all APC candidates in the 2027 elections, beginning with the re-election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. God bless our president. God bless the All Progressive Congress. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you all, and may God bless all of us. Thank you.
The very kind keynote address by the Chairman, Progressive Governors Forum, who doubles as the Governor of Imo State, which is on the rise, His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodimma, a leader of courage, conviction, and uncommon dedication to progressive governance. And through your steady leadership, the Progressive Governors Forum has remained united, focused, and aligned with the renewed hope agenda of the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Senator Hope Uzodimma I can tell you categorically, continues to demonstrate that purposeful leadership, strategic thinking and commitment to the development, and that can lead to transformation, and not just the transformation of a state, but inspire a nation. We salute you, Mr. Governor. Please, another round of applause for him, please. Let me start, Your Excellency, very distinguished special guest of honor. Would like to start by recognizing that the Deputy President of the Senate is wearing two caps at this event. His own cap and the cap of the number 3 citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Distinguished Senator Godswill Obot Akpabio, GCON, who is unavoidably absent, but the Deputy Governor, when he gets here to speak at the event, he will definitely mention. But I also want to welcome another progressive governor, just joining us, the Governor of Niger State, former Governor Umar Mohammed Bago. Please welcome for him, please, with a round of applause. Your Excellency, before we move on, I have it on good authority that we have very many elder statesmen, especially former governors of the All Progressives Congress, that are seated here. But let me start by recognizing the presence of His Excellency Senator Anyim Pius Anyim, GCON, former President of the Senate and former Secretary to Government of the Federation. We welcome you, sir. We recognize your presence, Your Excellency, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, former Governor of Lagos State. We recognize your presence, Your Excellency, Senator Umar Tanko Al-Makura, former Governor of Nasarawa State. We recognize your presence, Senator Arthur Ifeanyi Okowa, former Governor of Delta State. Malam Isa Yuguda, the former Governor of Bauchi State, we recognize your presence. We recognize the presence of Senator Joshua Darie, former Governor of Plateau State. We have quite a list, a long list, and Senator Ibukule Amosu, former Governor of Ogun State, would like to welcome you. We'll keep those recognitions at bay as we make progress very quickly for brevity of time. I'd like to recognize the former Governor of Ebonyi State, a Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who today sits as the Honorable Minister for Works, Senator Engineer Dave Umahi, CON. We welcome you. And also to recognize those of you that are taking charge of the President Tinubu's campaign support group for the DG Tinubu Campaign Organization, TSO, Honorable Aminu Suleiman, and Chairman Governing Council, Federal College of Education, SCT. We welcome you. Thank you so very much. Senator Rochas Okorocha is also here, architect Kabir Ibrahim Gaya, former Governor of Kano State. Tumbania Debayo is also here, former Governor of Ekiti State. Your Excellency, General Lawrence Onoja, Senator Ame Bute, we welcome you. His Excellency, Senator Chief Dr. Chris Ngige, former Governor of Anambra State and former Minister of Labor, we welcome you. Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, I've recognized, and Senator Dr. Gabriel Suswam, former Governor of Benue State, we welcome you. Honorable Senator Dr. Mahmoud Shinkafi, former Governor of Zamfara State, we welcome you. We'd like to keep these recognitions at bay for the time being as we quickly make progress. Before we move on, Your Excellencies, it is pertinent that I let you in on the health benefits of clapping. Clapping, when you clap, as made known to us publicly by the University of Philadelphia in the United States of America, November 2014, it says people who clap vigorously, what is important to clap, live longer, healthier, youthful, wrinkles-free, visit doctors less, and in turn, clapping helps to rejuvenate the internal organs in the human body. Please imbibe the culture of clapping as we give it up for the All Progressives Congress. Let me quickly dovetail into recognizing the presence of the National Working Committee members as advised by the organizers of this event. We recognize your presence, the number one man in the party, the national chairman, Professor Nentawe Yewada Goshwe. We recognize your presence, Honorable Ali Bukar Dalori, Deputy National Chairman North. Your Excellency, my Lord Mayor, Honorable Emmanuel Enuku, Deputy National Chairman South, Senator Surajuddin Ajibala Basiru, PhD, National Secretary, Professor Abdul Karim Abubakar Kana, SAN, Deputy National Secretary, Honorable Garbat Ati Mohammed, National Vice Chairman Northwest, Muazu Bawa Rijo OFR, National Vice Chairman North Central, Comrade Mustafa Saliu, PhD, National Vice Chairman Northeast, Dr. Ijoma Arodiobu, National Chairman Southeast, Chief Honorable Victor Giado, National Vice Chairman South-South. Chief D.I. Kekemeke is National Vice Chairman Southwest. Barrister Mukhtar Aliyu Kankia, Life Bencher National League Advisor. Mr. Oguru Matthew Ofoke, National Treasurer. Alhaji Bashir Usman Gumel, National Financial Secretary. Your Excellency Suleiman M. Argungu OFR, National Organizing Secretary. Honorable Chief Donatus Mwangba, National Welfare Secretary. Barrister Felix Moka, National Publicity Secretary. Senator Abubakar Maikefi, National Auditor. Senator Abubakar, Dr. Mary Alile Idele, National Woman Leader. Dr. Abdullahi Dayo Israel, National Youth Leader. Are Honorable Durotolu Oyebode Bankole, National Leader, Persons with Disabilities. Honorable Harman Adama Ali Kumo, Deputy National Financial Secretary. Nzechidi Duru OON, Deputy National Organizing Secretary. Honorable Durosimi Meseko, Deputy National Publicity Secretary, and Hajia Zainab Ibrahim, Deputy National Women Leader. Please can we give all of them a thunderous round of applause as we move on. At this point in time, Your Excellency, the special guest of honor, would like to ask that we fix our gaze on the LED screens in the hall to watch a very interesting, very brief, but very interesting documentary packaged by the Office of the President's Media Team and put together by Renewed Hope Ambassadors. I'd like that we watch this documentary, please.
Across Nigeria, in cities, towns, and even remote villages, real transformation is taking shape. Under the visionary leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his renewed hope agenda is gradually becoming reality. And that reality is impacting lives in several ways like never before in this country.
The country is going through a very strong phase of reform. And this reform is taking a very bold and hard decision.
Those bold and hard decisions, which are at the very heart of the Renewed Hope agenda, are now bearing positive results. In less than 3 years, the country's external reserves have grown to $49 billion from a paltry $3 billion. Inflation is now down 15% from a record 34%. Beneficiaries of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund have almost 1 million.
We thank God that those measures today have yielded successive economic growth.
From infrastructure development to economic reform, youth empowerment to agricultural revitalization, the Renewed Hope agenda is laying solid foundations that will endure for generations. For the first time in this country, a student's ambition for higher education can no longer be constrained by funds, thanks to the Nigeria Education Loan Fund, NELFund, a product of the Renewed Hope agenda, which thousands of students across the country are now benefiting from. Through conditional cash transfer scheme, millions of ordinary citizens now receive cash transfers to help them in their small businesses.
The money that President help us with and complete our business, definitely we really appreciate on that, because I use it and my furniture, I use it buy filing machine and the circular machine.
It's the same story for the Nigerian working class. Access consumer credit from the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation.
I want to use this opportunity to thank Bola Ahmed, our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for this initiative And I pray we should do more. And I didn't know that I can get loan from federal government without no connection, without no collateral.
Another initiative under the Renewed Hope agenda is the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, which is providing huge relief to Nigerians following the removal of petrol subsidy.
When you buy fuel, you finish house, to even feed is a problem for you. But if you use CNG, my brother, you eat well, your family will be happy for you.
The Renewed Hope agenda is indeed not just another policy document. It's a covenant between a president committed to transforming his country and his people who have longed for such a purposeful and deliberate leadership. From the initial pains over the removal of subsidy and the unification of the foreign exchange, the economy is now stabilizing. Savings from subsidy removal is now being plowed into massive and ambitious infrastructure projects as encapsulated in the Renewed Hope agenda. Petrol scarcity is now a thing of the past. The Naira is strengthening owing to prudent monetary policy. States are now receiving their highest allocations ever.
We largely depend now on federal inland revenue and Nigerian customs and non-oil revenue as our major source of funds for federation allocation and fiscal mobilization.
It's been less than 3 years since the birth of the Renewed Hope agenda, and while its impact have been far-reaching, there is still so much ground to cover, and that is where the Renewed Hope ambassadors come in. Through a coordinated outreach, the Renewed Hope ambassadors work to take this message to the grassroots, word by word, community by community, under the one party, one message, and one mobilization framework. It is an initiative to build awareness, to mobilize participation, to encourage ownership of the national vision. At the forefront of this movement stands Governor Hope Uzodimma, serving as the driving force and Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, with a mandate to coordinate strategy, unify structures, and deepen grassroots mobilization nationwide. He anchors the vision with disciplined leadership and national reach. Supporting him is Governor Sani as Deputy Director General, bringing northern engagement, youth-focused governance, and community-level activation into the national framework. Together, their leadership represent a bridge across regions, reinforcing unity, strengthening coordination, and ensuring that the Renewed Hope message moves with clarity, structure, and purpose from the center to every ward across Nigeria.
Realizing that the reform policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have succeeded, and the successes are yet to be known to the people of Nigeria up to the grassroots. So the Renewed Hope Ambassador has decided in their wisdom to bridge the gap, taking the message of Renewed Hope to the people of Nigeria.
Grassroots development means strengthening local structures, empowering community leaders, engaging youth groups, supporting small businesses, and ensuring that reforms are understood not as distant policies, but as practical opportunities. This is a collective effort to take renewed hope to the grassroots.
Under one party, one message, and one mobilization framework.
The Renew Hope agenda is a national compact, a promise that the sacrifices of Nigeria will lead to a stronger, fairer, and more prosperous nation.
Please, a round of applause for the Renewed Hope ambassadors for that very wonderful one. That clap can come even louder. Please, can we make it a bit louder than that for them? And thank you so very much, former Minister of Sports and Special Advisor to the President on Strategic Communications, Sunday Dario, and all of your team for putting that together. And of course, our elder brother, Bayo Nanuga. We'd like to appreciate all of you. Can we give them a round of applause for the yeoman's job done, especially with that documentary? I'd like to very quickly recognize the presence of Your Excellency, Dr. Mukhtar Ramalan Yero, former governor of Kaduna State. We recognize the former Secretary to Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, Your Excellency Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, former governor of Kano State and immediate past national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, our father and pioneer chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Your Excellency Chief B.C. Akonde, Senator Adams Oshomole, former governor of Edo State, we welcome you. Chief Shegwani, former governor of Ekiti State, and a host of other dignitaries that are here. Time would not permit us to run through this list continuously, but I'd like to just quickly single out someone for a goodwill. The goodwill message that is coming now, we're pleading with all that will be invited over to the podium for their goodwill messages. So please keep it very brief by going straight to the point, and you're allowed only 2 minutes. Skip protocols as much as possible. I'd like to quickly introduce the first goodwill message that's going to be coming. It's going to be coming from the chairman of Nigerians and Diaspora Voting Council and former diaspora director for the 2023 Tinubu Shetima Campaign Council, Prince Ade Omole. He is an ICT executive, legal professional, and public affairs strategist. He has served in very many capacities, but today he's here as the chairman of the Nigerian Diaspora Voting Council and former diaspora director for the 2023 Tinubu Shetima Campaign Council. Can we please welcome him with me for his goodwill message? You have 2 minutes, sir. Thank you very much. And your time starts now.
Your Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, ably represented by His Excellency, Vice President Kashim Shettima GCON, Your Excellency, Governor Hope Uzodimma, Chairman, Progressive Governors Forum, and Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors. All protocols adopted. On behalf of Nigerians in the diaspora, I convey our warmest goodwill and firm solidarity as we convene the Renewed Hope Ambassadors Summit 2026. Though many of us reside beyond the nation's borders, our commitment, investments, advocacy, and daily contributions remain firmly anchored in Nigeria's progress. The theme of today, taking renewed hope to the grassroots, speaks directly to our collective aspiration. Across Europe, the Americas, Middle East, Africa, and Asia, Nigerians abroad serve not only as the cultural representatives of our great nation, but also as active partners in development by contributing remittances, facilitating trade, and also investments, actually strengthening diplomatic goodwill and promoting Nigeria's global image. We recognize that meaningful reform must ultimately be felt at the grassroots in expanded opportunities for our youths, economic empowerment for women, improved livelihoods for families, and strengthened security for our communities. We commend the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR for pursuing reforms aimed at stabilizing the economy, reinforcing institutions, laying foundations for sustainable growth. We also acknowledge the strategic roles of the Progressive Governors Forum and the Renewed Hope Ambassadors structure in translating the national vision into community-level impact. As diaspora stakeholders, we reaffirm our readiness to collaborate with our Nigeria-based progressives. Renewed Hope Global, representing the diaspora, has taken it upon itself to mobilize expertise, attract more investments, support policy advocacy, counter misinformation, and project a confident, united Nigeria on the global stage. Renewed Hope does not end with our borders. It travels with every Nigerian passport and lives in every Nigerian heart abroad. Wherever Nigerians stand across the world, Renewed Hope stands with them. And let it be recorded from this summit today that at this moment in our history, Nigerians actually chose courage over comfort, unity over division, progress over fear, and I can also affirm today, here this afternoon, that Nigeria will not retreat. Nigeria will not surrender. Nigeria will not fracture. Nigeria will not fail. Nigeria will not stumble. Nigeria will not scatter. Nigeria will not bow. Nigeria will not fade. Nigeria will not waver. Nigeria will not collapse. Nigeria will keep surging forward under the leadership of our great president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. Because when leadership is bold, when the captain of our ship of state is alert and resolute, when the people are united, and when hope is organized, no force, no coalition, no spirit, no fake news, no opposition, no Dubai merchant or China trader can deny Nigeria of its greatness. May this summit deepen coordination, strengthen grassroots engagement, and mark a significant step forward in building a prosperous, steady, and globally respected Nigeria. As the renewed hope continues to grow at home, we also look forward with great joy and pride to welcoming Mr. President and the First Lady to London, United Kingdom in March, where the Nigeria diaspora will warmly receive and show the renewed hope as the grassroots is also renewed hope across the world. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The APC legwork in the diaspora. Your Excellency, sir, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, what a wonderful day this is, where the work that is being expected to be done in terms of the scorecard of Mr. President and the entire APC team is brought to the fore today. Our theme for this Progressive Governors Forum Renewed Hope Ambassador Summit 2026 is taking renewed hope to the grassroots, one party, one message, one mobilization framework. And indeed, the APC hierarchy and the APC governors, the Progressive Governors Forum, and all those who work within the APC collective support must necessarily give themselves that pat on the back in indicating the work that has been done. An initiative of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, this summit is across agriculture, 280,000 farmers supported. Across infrastructure, 240 roads completed across Nigeria. Across education, 950,000 student loans. Across health, 1,000 health centers refurbished. And across empowerment, 1 million startup grants for emerging entrepreneurs. This is the time when we give the ruling party a resounding round of applause. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have a list of our progressive governors in my purview. But before I read all of them, one by one, to give the roll call, I'd like at this point to invite our next Goodwill speaker to deliver his Goodwill before I do that. So prepare, in a few minutes from now, we shall be taking a roll call of all the progressive governors who are seated with us and to let you know those who are with us in spirit. Your Excellency, sir, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to invite the very distinguished Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, the Honorable Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, to make his way forward as he comes to deliver his own Goodwill. And if you know Senator Bagudu, he was a former governor. He was very famous for the rice farms in his state. He's very famous for economic understanding of how the national budget is run. He's very famous for explaining and breaking down numbers. Help me welcome the very distinguished Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, Deputy Senate President, Right Honorable Speaker, Chairman of our party, governors, particularly the Chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum and the Renewed Hope Ambassador, SGF, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me, for want of time, respect all the established protocol. It is with great pleasure that I'm speaking at this conference, which is organized by the Progressive Governors Forum and the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, and the Director General for the Party Outreach, Senator Hope Uzodimma, especially coming 3 years since the last general election, which heralded the election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as well as majority of the governors here, some who are in their second term and some who are in their first term. As a former chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, particularly in the run-up to the election, I had the privilege of knowing the campaign manifesto and promises made by the candidate, then President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And it is his commitment to do that which make us then governors describe him as a promise keeper. Today, what we heard from both the chairman and the Renewed Hope ambassador they have said it all. We are gathered here because the Renewed Hope agenda is not just a campaign slogan, it's a message that should unify the nation. When Mr. President authored the Renewed Hope agenda, he was very clear about three things, supported by his very brilliant Vice President Kashim Shettima. We are not where we want to be by then. Let us avoid blame games. Let us recognize choices that we need to make and how to mobilize people behind those choices. Today, we have seen the result of those choices, and that Mr. President had in his wisdom approved the establishment of the Renewed Hope ambassadors and appointing the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum speak volumes in his respect for our federalism. We need the constituent part of the country to work together. We need the messaging to be the same. This is the clearest demonstration of institutionalization and also appreciation. Mr. President, I recall, have demonstrated at all levels his respect for the state governors and our federal structure, as well as other elected officials. So we are gathered here, and in a very pleasant, from somebody who is looking, a more united nation is gathered here. 30 governors. It didn't happen by chance. It happens as a product of many Nigerians, many patriotic Nigerians recognizing that we need to come together and unify around policies that work, policies that can take us to the promised land. I recall being in Akwa Ibom when His Excellency Pastor Umoyeno joined the All Progressive Congress, and he said what he told his people, quoting John Campbell, that the cave you are afraid to enter might hold the treasure that you are seeking for. And that's what we have seen at the national level. Mr. President was daring, supported by a very brilliant Vice President, and we are seeing the result of that. So the messaging needs to go to the lowest level because it's not a walk in the park. And the team, particularly the governors that are gathered here, I believe can do it. But Mr. President has challenged us to a higher challenge. He wants us to achieve a $1 trillion economy in the next 5 years, by the year 20. A $1 trillion economy that includes all. that works for each part of this nation. And in doing so, he has taken federalism further. He said, how can we make the 8,809 wards, all of them politically active? How can we recognize the potentials in them? How can we ensure that those people who live in them are supported to achieve better, to do better? This is governance being reset. And he recognized that, consistent with our constitution, which describes him as the chief executive of the federation, to do that, you have to handhold the other tiers of government together. So it is this resetting of government which have been aptly described by the Renewed Hope ambassador, which has found expression in spirit and form by the chairman of the National Economic Council, that the three tiers have to work together and take on this challenge that will deliver the $1 trillion economy, which will be a bigger economy that will work for all. And I'm glad we are making progress. When Mr. President swore us in as governors, he said we should imagine that we are drawing water from a dry well. Many of my colleagues were asking, what did he mean? And that was the reality, that we had a small economy. All the indices that the Renewed Hope ambassador mentioned were true. But yesterday, it was pleasant to hear from the president during his interfaith fast breaking that we are out of the wood. Not only are we out of the wood, we are seeing visibility to that site of travel, and what we are gathered here, I believe, will unify the whole nation and advance the cause. I congratulate you, and I thank you for.
The Honorable Minister has spoken. And one of the things he has said is that in respect to true federation, he's very pleased with the hierarchy of the Renewed Hope ambassadors. As a serving minister and pioneer chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, please let's give him a round of applause real quick. Thank you very much. Like I promised earlier, I'm going to do the roll call of their excellencies, the Progressive Governors, led in chief by the chairman, His Excellency, the Governor of Imo State, who is also the Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors. We welcome you. We thank you for your strategic devotion to the work that you do. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me give the roll call now with the Akwa Ibom State Governor, Pastor Moeno, the Bayelsa State Governor, Your Excellency Due Diri, the Benue State Governor, Your Excellency Hyacinth Alia, the Borno State Governor, Your Excellency Babagana Zulum, the Cross River State Governor, Your Excellency Basi Otu, the Delta State Governor, Your Excellency Sheriff Oberewori, the Ebonyi State Governor, Your Excellencies Francis Inwifuru, the Edo State Governor, Your Excellency Monde Okpebolo, the Ekiti State Governor, Your Excellency Biodun Oyebanji, the Enugu State Governor, Your Excellency Peter Mba, the Gombe State Governor, Your Excellency Mohammed Inua Yahaya, the Jigawa State Governor, Your Excellency Umar Namadi, the Kaduna State Governor, Your Excellency Ubasani, the Katsina State Governor, Your Excellency Dikko Umar Rada, the Kebbi State Governor, Your Excellency Nasir Idris, the Kogi State Governor, Your Excellency Ahmed Usman Ododo, the Kwara State Governor and Chairman Governors Forum, Your Excellency Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, The Lagos State Governor, Your Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Nasarawa State Governor, Your Excellency Abdullahi Sule, the Niger State Governor, Your Excellency Muhammad Umar Bago, the Ogun State Governor, Your Excellency Dakpo Abiodun, the Ondo State Governor, Your Excellency Lucky Ayedatiwa, the Plateau State Governor, Your Excellency Caleb Muftwang, the Rivers State Governor, Your Excellency Simi Fubara, the Sokoto State Governor, Your Excellency Ahmad Aliyu, the Taraba State Governor, Your Excellency Abukefas, the Yobe State Governor, Your Excellency Maimala Buni, and I have left the best, the newest for the last. Known famously as Alhaji Abba Gida Gida, the Kano State Governor, Your Excellency Abba Kabir Yusuf, who has joined us today and is seated amongst us as one of us. Your Excellency, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for me to invite for his goodwill message, Mr. Wale Edun, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy. Shall we invite him over to the podium as he makes his way to deliver his goodwill message? I did see him earlier in the day. Is he here? Oh, here he is. Please let us salute him as he makes his way up here to break down the figures.
Thank you very much, Eugenia. And good afternoon. His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the father of the nation, our leader, ably represented by His Excellency the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, the Senate President, ably represented by the Deputy Senate President, the Right Honorable Speaker, the Chairman of our great party, Your Excellencies, you've just been introduced, the governors present, particularly the Chairman, Progressive Governors Forum, and Director General, Renewed Hope Ambassadors, all other protocols, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, particularly the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, and particularly the women's section of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors. Gentlemen of the press, let me first of all seize the opportunity of this all-important PG and Renewed Hope Ambassadors Summit 2026 to say, on behalf of my colleagues, on behalf of the entire cabinet, Mr. President, you have chosen us, and we extend our heartfelt congratulations to you at this time. Your visionary leadership has guided this administration towards meaningful progress, and the achievements we have made together are a testimony to your commitment and foresight. And as we look forward to the, by God's grace, upcoming second term of Your Excellency, we are united in our resolve to continue with other stakeholders building on this success achieved to date and strengthening Nigeria's future. And we look forward to working tirelessly to ensure that the next chapter of your Renewed Hope Agenda and Action Plan is even more transformative. And we are honored to stand by you. The Nigerian Governors, the Chairman of Progressive Governors Forum, and the Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors has said it all. He has put before us a blueprint. Even if we achieve half of what he has said, we are going to have a resounding victory at the 2027 polls. So I will not go over what he has said. But Mr. President's commitment as early as 2023 and even before was no more broken promises. And if we had had time, we'd have been able to go over the promises that he made and the promises that he kept. Well, that is what is to be amplified by the renewed hope ambassadors. That is their job. Let me just, without repeating what has been said before, say that, yes, we are at a stage where all the distortions have been removed by Mr. President under his reform program. He's now willing buyer, willing seller, market prices. He has stabilized the economy. But the whole point of his program is to achieve inclusive, rapid, sustained growth. When we say inclusive, we mean jobs for women, well-paid jobs for women, well-paid jobs for our youth. And when we say rapid growth, we are talking about 7% per annum as a target that will lift millions of Nigerians out of poverty. So the final piece of that jigsaw of correcting distortions, stabilizing, and consolidating is investment. And His Excellency is now globally recognized for his reform program. And it is that is attracting what we need, investment to create jobs. Foreign investment, domestic investment. I will recognize the captains of industry who are here, who have been encouraged to invest in the Nigerian economy. So the one mantra that I would like to leave us with is that under Mr. President's economic reform program, it is time for us as Nigerians, small scale, medium scale, and large scale, to invest in the Nigerian economy. Once again, let me congratulate the Progressive Governors Forum, the Renewed Hope ambassadors for putting together this all-important summit aimed at focusing our attention on making sure that we send the message of the achievements of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu down to the grassroots ahead of the 2027 elections and even beyond. Thank you and God bless. Thank you.
Can we put our hands together for the Honorable Minister of Finance? Please, can we have a settled room? The movement is too much. Can we settle down, please? Let's settle down, please. In no time, this will be over and we can go home. Let's take our seats. Let's take our seats, please. Thank you. Can we take our seats, please? Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in continuation of our goodwill messages, I'd like to bring a man who represents all the good things we have been discussing here. We'll quickly invite for goodwill messages the founder and CEO of MoneyPoint, Mr. Tosin Eniolorunda. Mr. Tosin Eniolorunda. Okay. I can't see him. Who gave you that message? This MoneyPoint is on there. Just call on the SGF. Well, Eniolorunda is now close to us. We'll quickly move on to the man who has been governor. He's a senator. He has been a minister, and now he's an SGF of the Federation. That's why people that love him call him GSM. Please welcome here His Excellency Mr. Sir George Akume, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Your Excellency, please.
Your Excellencies, I want to stand by existing protocol, but permit me to recognize in a very special way Mr. President, who is ably represented here by the Vice President. His Excellency Shetima, GCON. The President of the Senate, heavily represented by Barrow, Deputy Senate President. Speaker, the Chairman of Progressive Governors Forum, Your Excellencies, let me also recognize in a very special way the first chairman of our great party, the former governor of Osun State, the man of honor, the man of integrity, the man who led this party with total sense of commitment and involvement, a man who was respected by all, a man who came in as chairman without a deep pocket and left without a fat check. Indeed, President Buhari referred to him in a very generous way. There can never be anyone in that position again in our party. His Excellency is no more, but that statement still stands. Your Excellencies, former governors, members of the Federal Executive Council, special advisors, the ambassadors, party chieftains, ladies and gentlemen, I am tempted to behave like a man who was asked to deliver a goodwill message at a very important occasion in UK. It was a very select group that was assembled for the purpose of the former MD of International Monetary Fund, Lagarde, to give a lecture. It was a beautiful lecture, very well attended. They minded up by presenting a technical paper, and of course, after that, he left. But you see, I cannot do that. Permit me, members of the National Working Committee and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to make a very short presentation, because time is fast spent. I am delighted to be part of this segment dedicated to, this is to secretaries, to state governments who are backbones for coordination and delivery systems across sub-nations. This paper is also very interesting because it speaks to those who run affairs at the sub-national levels, the governors. It is very important for them to also listen to this paper. The session is significant for several critical reasons, especially as we count down in months to the 2027 general election. I will enumerate a few to establish our basis. Progressive states now number 29, out of 36 states of the Federation. While some of you are new to your beats, a good number have been part of the institutional leadership provided with this office as part of the forum of SGF with SSGs. which accommodates both progressives and others. For the delivery of the 8-point renewed hope agenda, you are chief coordinators and chief ambassadors at states level, and therefore critical. Beyond political consideration, Nigerians are expectant. Our promises are real, our commitment genuine, and delivery is sacrosanct to this administration. Success or failure of any administration begins with the effectiveness or otherwise of its engine room. Ladies and gentlemen, for flow and clarity, I've structured this paper into 3 parts. The introduction, the main body which I will present, and the various sub-themes, recommendations, and conclusions. Delivery on the renewed hope agenda as chief ambassadors. This administration, under the leadership of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, injected momentum into governance in 2023 through the Renew Hope agenda. For emphasis, the 8 priority areas upon which this administration has been focused and will continue to focus because tremendous accomplishments have been recorded are well known. Economic growth and job creation, food security, access to capital, ending poverty, national security, inclusivity, fairness and rule of law, anti-corruption. These priority areas have been further unbundled into the following focus areas. Reform the economy to deliver sustained inclusive growth. Strengthen national security for peace and prosperity. Boost agriculture to achieve food security. Unlock energy and natural resources for sustainable development. Enhance infrastructure and transportation as enablers of growth. Focus on education, health and social investment as essential pillars of development. Accelerate industrialization through digital economy, manufacturing, and innovative technology. And 8, improve governance for effective service delivery. I want to move forward, but I want to appeal to my colleagues to take note of one thing: the need to establish at the sub-national level Central Resort Delivery and Coordination Unit, otherwise known as Central Resort Delivery Coordination Unit, to provide overarching framework including digital dashboards and performance scorecards. You also have to allow the members of the public to have access to the data so that they can also criticize, they can also add value to what you are doing. And I believe the Federal Central Resort Delivery Coordination Unit, otherwise known as the Central Resort Delivery Coordination Unit, provides this framework for the good of all. I know that some states, such as Oyo, Ogun, Kwara, Imo, Lagos, Kaduna, Borno, Anambra, Niger, Gombe, Kogi, Abia, and others, have already done that, and I believe more will join. According to Vice President Kashim Shettima, President Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda is a statement of commitment, a covenant between us and the people. That is indeed our contract with the people. To ensure delivery, the administration reactivated the resort delivery framework from the previous government. In Nigeria's federal system, the Secretary to State Government is the Chief Administrative Officer at the state level. He is responsible for day-to-day running of the state government and has the power to coordinate the activities of all state ministries and departments. In practice, he chairs and or convenes inter-ministerial meetings, oversees state planning and coordination matters. Let us continue with that framework. At the operational level, the CDCU and state governments can coordinate via regular reporting, joint reviews, state delivery units, and so on. This is already being done in some of the states already mentioned. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to conclude, because I'm going to circulate this paper. I want to conclude with a call to institutional responsibility and measurable deliveries. The Renew Hope agenda is not merely a policy framework. It is a covenant of performance between government and its citizens. And we must recognize the fact that all of us, particularly at the subnational level too, carry the institutional responsibility to translate promises into measurable outcomes, such as roads completed, safer highways, student loans, regional development initiatives, agricultural growth, higher foreign reserves, schools improved, healthcare strengthened, jobs created, investment attracted, communities secured, and public trust renewed. As we approach a new cycle of democratic accountability, the strongest testament of leadership will be performance, demonstrable improvements in welfare, security, economic opportunity, and social stability. Citizens will rightly demand to see proof that governance at work for them. That proof must reside in data, in delivery dashboards, in completed projects, in improved human development indicators, in human security elements, and in restored public trust and confidence. Progressive governance must therefore move from episodic implementation to systemic delivery structure, where follow-through is non-negotiable, leakages are minimized, silos are dismantled, and the machinery of state operates with clarity of purpose and measurable impact. Let me assure you that this office stands ready to provide strategic support across all relevant parameters. I want to thank you, and I want to also finally appeal to you to continue to defend government policies. Don't be afraid of criticisms whenever the occasion arises. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. God bless APC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The remarks of the Secretary to Government of the Federation time will not permit us, but please, except everyone is seated and there's some quiet, we cannot invite the number 2 citizen of Nigeria to address us. Can everybody, please, in the hall, be seated? And can we have some quiet, please? If you must have your conversations, can we do this in tones? Can everybody, wherever you are, be seated, please? Hello, those of you at the sidelines. Excuse me, gentlemen on that side. Ku Abaya, those of you sitting there. Biko, those of you at the side. Please, can we have some quiet before we invite His Excellency, the Vice President, to come to the podium? Except that is done. It is now the time for us to invite Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, His Excellency, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, PhD, GCON, a statesman of intellect, calm strength, and legislative excellence. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Your Excellency, sir.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is representing the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our leader, our reliable and dependable leader, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, the Deputy Senate President, the Deputy Speaker, the Chairman of the Governors, Progressive Governors Forum, the Deputy Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, all progressive governors here, members of the Federal Executive Council, former governors, members of the National NWC, our dear brother, our most reliable chairman of the greatest party in Africa, Professor Nentawe, our women leaders, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a pleasure to join the progressive governors, leaders of our great party, colleagues from the National Assembly, members of the Federal Executive Council, and the renewed hope ambassadors at this important strategic summit. Let me first recognize the leadership of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. The reform program currently underway in our country is deliberate and structural. It is founded on the belief that Nigeria must face difficult truths if it aims to achieve sustainable prosperity. Reform is seldom comfortable. However, stagnation is far more perilous. We are at a pivotal point in our national journey. The economic reforms introduced by this administration, including fiscal consolidation, tax reform, exchange rate realignment, and subsidy restructuring, are reshaping the foundations of our economy. These reforms aim to restore credibility to public finances, broaden the revenue base, attract investments, and position Nigeria for long-term growth. As Speaker of the House of Representatives, my role is clear. The legislature must establish the legal framework that supports reform. We must exercise oversight to enhance implementation, and we must act as a bridge between policy and the people. In every reforming society, there comes a point when the gap between policy intent and public perception becomes politically significant. That gap must be managed with clarity, honesty, and engagement. Governance is not just about decisions. It is about communication and trust. This summit, therefore, with its focus, it is tested in markets, schools, farms, and small businesses. If citizens do not understand reforms, they will oppose them. If they do not see the pathway from sacrifice to reward, confidence will diminish. The House of Representatives is fully aware of this reality. Over the past year, we have prioritized legislation that supports economic stability, social protection, security sector reform, and institutional accountability. But legislation alone is not good enough. We must now strengthen political coordination across federal and state levels. Permit me, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to offer a few concrete proposals for consideration. First, we should establish a structured federal-state legislative reform interface. This will be a quarterly forum bringing together leaders of the National Assembly and speakers of State House of Assembly in APC-governed states. Its purpose would be to harmonize reform legislation, monitor implementation challenges, and align oversight priorities. Coherence in reform across tiers of government will reduce policy conflicts and accelerate impact. Second, we must enhance communication with citizens through data. I suggest creating a renewed public dashboard, accessible online and duplicated at the regional level. This dashboard would display simplified metrics on revenue performances, capital project delivery, social intervention coverage, and employment initiatives. When citizens access transparent data, speculation diminishes, and trust increases. Third, we should integrate youth and women more systematically into the reform narratives. Instead of restricting engagement to mobilization, we should establish state reform fellows from universities, professional associations, and technology hubs. These fellows would oversee local project implementation, produce feedback reports, and act as reform advocates within their communities. Political ownership strengthens when participation is genuine. Fourth, as we near the electoral cycle, consistency in public messaging is vital. Our party must resist the temptation of internal contradictions. Debate is healthy. Public division is very costly. The summit's focus on a unified mobilization framework is therefore well-timed. Unity does not mean uniformity of thought. It means coherence of direction. Fifth, we should focus on translating macroeconomic reform into visible macroeconomic relief. I suggest that the National Assembly collaborate with the executive to accelerate legislation supporting small-scale enterprise credit guarantees, agro-processing clusters, and targeted tax relief for micro businesses. When reforms are accompanied by tangible support to producers and traders, resilience improves. The political atmosphere in the country is vibrant. Expectations are high. Criticism is active. That is the nature of democracy. But we must not allow short-term noise to overshadow the long-term direction. The transformational reform is rarely praised at its start. It is judged by its results. The renewed hope agenda has transitioned from a slogan to a framework, from framework to systems, and from systems to tangible impact. Governors play a vital role. The National Assembly bears a constitutional duty. Party structures facilitate mobilization, but ultimately credibility depends on delivery. As Speaker, I assure you that the House of Representatives will continue to support reform legislation that promotes fiscal responsibility, enhances security, protects the vulnerable, and boosts productivity. At the same time, we will strengthen oversight to guarantee that public resources are used efficiently and transparently. We must also guard against elite complacency. Reform cannot be seen as an abstract technocratic exercise. It must be regarded as a national renewal project that requires humility in leadership and a willingness to accept feedback. Our party benefits from governing centrally and in most states. This alignment offers an opportunity, but also brings responsibility. History indicates that dominant parties succeed when they stay internally democratic, focused on policy, and responsive to citizens. They struggle when coordination declines and grassroots structures weaken. The summit signifies a shift from mobilization to institutionalization. It should deliver clear outcomes, timelines, and accountability structures. By our actions today, we are signaling that governance and politics can reinforce each other positively. Nigeria's path is not set in stone. It is guided by choices. President Tinubu has opted for reform instead of delay. As legislators, governors, party leaders, and ambassadors of renewed hope, we must favor discipline over division, substance over spectacle, and delivery over rhetoric. If we maintain coherence, communicate honestly, and turn reform into real improvements, confidence will grow and political stability will ensue. I commend the Progressive Governors Forum for convening this very important strategic summit. The House of Representatives is prepared to collaborate with you to enhance reform, foster unity, and promote the renewed hope agenda for the benefit of all Nigerians. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. The Speaker, House of Representatives, the Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, who has continued to champion reforms that deepens democracy, even in the legislative arm of government. He has spoken on behalf of the President of the Senate, the Deputy President of the Senate, as well as the Speaker, and indeed the leadership of the National Assembly. I'll make some quick announcements before we invite His Excellency, our special guest of honor at this occasion. Lunch packs will be handed over to us as we are leaving this hall. But all renewed hope ambassadors, secretary to state governments, speakers of state assemblies, and honorable commissioners from the various states are advised to please wait behind after the speech of His Excellency. But we thank you all for coming. Comrade Philip Shuaibu, former Deputy Governor, Chief Tony Chuku, Your Excellency Sir Ikedi Hakim, former Governor of Imo State, and of course the other distinguished gentlemen that are yet to be recognized. We welcome all of you.
Thank you, Andy. Your Excellency, we thank you for your patience. I'd like to say very quickly that if you are standing on the aisle and you are not sitting down and you are making noise, you are pretty much disrespecting the #1 citizen of a country, who is represented today by our amiable Vice President. Please, let's have some quiet. Let's return to our seats, because any moment now he will be speaking. Let me also announce that there are 74,000 copies of the Renewed Hope Compendium. Each state coordinator of the Renewed Hope Ambassador would be collecting 2,000 for their states after the technical session. Please be aware that you will be collecting those compendiums. Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, will be presenting the compendium after he has delivered his speech. That would be a powerful moment, and I would like to call on all of us to please be seated. Your Excellency, only recently in Yola, Mr. President said we work together for the glory of the country today, tomorrow, and after, investing in the people and making sure that we as a nation can build together a very happy family and tremendous community for achievement and for going forward. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular honor and pleasure to invite the representative of His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, our amiable Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the very distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima. Your Excellency, sir.
Kindly take your seats, please. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, GCON, the Deputy President of the Senate, distinguished Senator Barrow I. Jibrin, CFR, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Okeze Kalu, and other members of the National Assembly, both serving and non-serving, present here. The National Chairman, All Progressives Congress, Professor Nentawe Goshwe Yilwada, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, CON, the Chief of Staff to Mr. President, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Imo State and Chairman of APC Governors Forum and Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, distinguished Senator Hope Odidika Uzodimma, CON, His Excellency the Executive Governor of Kwara State and Chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, Malam Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, and all the members of our weightlifters, our governors across the length and breadth of this great nation. But I must single out for special recognition the newest kid on the block from the California of Nigerian politics, Governor Abba Gida Gida. You are welcome to the family, and with your broken shackles cap, you have really melted into the crowd. The APC National Party leaders and other members of the APC National Working Committee, especially the DNC North and the DNC South and the National Secretary, former APC party leaders and elder statesmen, especially our pioneer chairman and former governor of Osun State, Chief Adebisi Akande, Aremu Olusegun Oshoba, former governor of Kano State and former national chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. The cameras were zooming on him, wanted to catch him doing Likimo, but he's ever alert. He's much more smarter than all of us here. And Chief Pius Akinelure and Senator Pius Anyim Pius. My colleagues in the Federal Executive Council, too numerous to mention, all former governors and deputy governors present here, and I will crave your indulgence, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, to intentionally list out the names of the governors present here, intentionally. Former Governor of Delta State, His Excellency Ifeanyi Okowa. Former Governor of Anambra State, Senator Chris Ngige. Former Governor of Jigawa State, Senator Ibrahim Saminu Turaki. He is seated with his very good friend, the Minister of Budget and Planning. Former Governor of Katsina State, Barrister Ibrahim Shehu Shema. Former Governor of Katsina State and former Speaker of the National Parliament, Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari. Former Governor of Lagos State and former Minister of Works, Babatunde Raji Fashola SAN. Former Governor of Kogi State, His Excellency Idris Wada. Former Governor of Bauchi State, Malam Isa Yuguda. Former Governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikule Amotion. My boss, former Governor of Borno State, Senator Ali Modu Sharif. Former Governor of Kogi State, the White Lion, Alhaji Yahya Bello. The former Governor of Kebbi State, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu. Former Governor of Osun State, Adegboyega Ishiaka Oyetola. Former Governor of Ekiti State, Otumbani Adebayo. Former Governor of Kaduna State, Mukhtar Ramalan Yero. Former Governor of Zamfara State, His Excellency Mahmouda Aliyu Shinkafi. Former Governor of Nasarawa State, Senator Tanko Umoru Tanko Almakura. Former Governor of Imo State, Senator Rochas Okorocha. Former Governor of Kano State, Senator Kabiru Gaya. Former Governor of Plateau State, Chief Joshua Darie. Former Governor of Benue State, Senator Gabriel Suswam. Former Governor of Ebonyi State, Senator Deb Umahi. Former Governor of Edo State, the return of the Godfather, Senator Adams Aliu Oshomole. Former Governor of Imo State, Ikedi Ohakim. And of course, former Governor of Ekiti State, Shegun Oni. And I have also seen, for the purpose of inclusivity, Dame Pauline Talen, former Deputy Governor of Plateau State. The APC State Chairman and other members of the APC Working Committee across the length and breadth of our great nation, especially our state women leaders. development partners, renewed hope ambassadors, members of the fourth estate of the RIM, honored guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Last weekend marks this administration's 1,000th day in office. It is fitting, therefore, that we gather here today for this strategic summit of the Progressive Governors Forum and the Renewed Hope Ambassadors. This moment calls for us to reflect on the reforms we have pursued, the sacrifices made, and the responsibility we share to translate vision into measurable impact for our people. From the start, our administration chose the path of honesty and discipline. We confronted deep-seated structural distortions. In so doing, we have restored fiscal credibility, stabilized the economy, and set the foundation for long-term economic growth. Today, we are seeing clear signs that our reforms have begun to yield results. Inflationary pressures are moderating, fuel prices are easing, our currency is strong and stable. In fact, if not for the interventions by the Central Bank of Nigeria yesterday, the 1,000 naira to a dollar, we are going to attain in weeks, not in months. But for the purpose of market stability, the CBN generously intervened yesterday. So for some of my friends, especially one of our party leaders who take delight in stockpiling dollars, it's a wake-up call. Our economy is picking up. Of the 7 major investment decisions made last year in Africa, 5 were done in Nigeria. That goes to show the strength and viability and the promise of the Nigerian economy. And as we advance into 2026, our focus shifts from stabilization to acceleration. The 58.18 trillion budget shall anchor this new pace with record capital expenditure, the largest allocation to national security in our history, and prudent revenue projections. We are scaling growth while strengthening resilience. Landmark tax reforms have been introduced to protect the vulnerable, encourage enterprise, and entrench transparency in public finance. Additionally, the recent executive order affecting remittance to the Federation account is designed to safeguard Federation revenues, eliminate duplicative structures, curb waste, and ensure that resources are responsibly managed for national benefit. Yet, no reform can succeed without public understanding and participation. This is the strategic importance of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors. This platform shall serve as an avenue for civic engagement, allowing us to carry the message of national rebirth to every ward, to every community, to every nook and cranny of this our great nation. Ambassadors must explain why tough decisions had to be made and how they link to jobs, security, enterprise, opportunity, and a more stable future. They must counter misinformation with facts, replace rumor with evidence, and ensure that Nigerians from across the country have access to the truth. Equally, they must also serve as a channel for feedback, bringing community concerns and lived experiences back to government. I commend Governor Hope Uzodimma, Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, and his team for the clarity and coordination they have brought to this effort. I therefore charge all Renewed Hope Ambassadors to move beyond conference halls and into the wards, markets, farms, and campuses of this country. This mission is about presence, it's about truth, it's about trust. Elections are not conducted on the social media platforms. Elections are not conducted on Facebook. Elections are conducted by Nigerians who will vote in their leaders. This summit affirms our collective commitment to a shared future of peace and prosperity for all Nigerians. Together, we'll continue translating reform into opportunity, policy into impact, and sacrifice into renewed hope. The foundation has been laid. The momentum is building. With this new and important initiative, the promise of renewed hope will be fully delivered. Lastly, one can hardly get a forum better than this. I want to use this forum to make a special appeal to His Excellency Senator George Akume and His Excellency Senator Hyacinth Alia to mend fences and work as a team. Senator Akume, apart from Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, Senator Akume is the longest serving public servant in our current dispensation. He's in his 70s. He started work in Benue State Government House. He was the director of protocol. He was a permanent secretary. He was a governor for 8 years, a senator for 16 years, a minister for 4 years, and now the secretary to the government of the Federation. You have seen it all. You are an elder statesman. Reach out to our junior brother. Let's build Benue together. Benue deserves peace. Benue deserves development. What binds us together, as I have always said, supersedes whatever that divides us. The trajectory of global growth is facing Africa, and Nigeria will make or mar that transition. Nigeria is greater than all of us. And as Martin Luther King rightly said, we either learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. And we are not a nation of fools. We are a nation of very intelligent, very smart people that know their onions. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your kind attention, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Vice President, representing the special guest of honor, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We have our books, the Compendium for Renewed Hope. I'd like to invite here the DG and Chairman of the Governors Forum, Progressive Governors Forum, the Chairman of APC. Let me also welcome Chief Bisia Konde, the Speaker, the SGF, as the core photograph, the Deputy Senate President, the Deputy Speaker, and all the progressive governors that are here to please join us up for the photograph.